Welcome back. We're going to begin where we left off after this assignment. So we started at 0, 0, and we worked our way around the letter E, around the perimeter, giving in inputs. Then we worked on the second part with offset and trim. Now we're going to work on the first aid sign, which is our third part, our third figure. In today's lesson, we'll be learning about hatch, move, rectangle command, and our offset command we'll be using, and our O-snaps. So let's start with the rectangle command, R-E-C-T, or go up and use your rectangle button. And we're going to go at 12, comma 7, 12 in the X and 7 in the Y to create our first rectangle based on the dimensions given to our sheet. And then I want to do another rectangle, R-E-C-T, at 5.5, comma 5.5 for that inner square. So now I want to move that about a midpoint inside that other rectangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my O-snaps. So I'm going to come in and you right click on your O-snaps button on the bottom and click in settings. Or you can type in DD O-snap, DD O-snap, and hit enter, and then it will give you a list of your snaps. This is where your lines are going to connect. So your endpoints, your midpoints, your perpendiculars, or your intersections. So we're going to click OK once we get our perpendicular set. And I'm going to draw a line from the end point of the square to the other endpoint. Whoops, I couldn't quite do that. So to the end, I did undo. And then now from the end to the other end. So now I have lines that I can move about. So now I'm going to select the move command, or M for move. So here you can see it's on my command prompt is keep checking your command prompt and move from the midpoint to the midpoint. Now I want to measure and make sure I'm right. So I'm going to measure with distance or the measure toolbar that I picked up top. And it looks like I have a measurement of 0.75, which is what I want to have based on my drawing. And then I'm going to do another distance command from the end point, perpendicular to PER, if you don't have your O-snap set, and it gives me 0.75. So I'm toggling on my O-snaps, and I'm going to put my perpendicular back on because I turned that off. From now, I'm just going to erase my construction line, so now mine's starting to look more like the example that I had given you. Now I want to work on that cross on the inside of our red cross sign. So now I need to make another square, but I'm going to use the offset command to make that inner square where that plus sign is. It's 0.25 away from it, so I'm going to offset 0.25. And now I'm going to draw lines from the midpoint to the midpoint. These are just some construction lines I'm making for myself, from the other midpoint to the other midpoint for that cross, for that plus sign up top. So these are just my construction lines. Now if I offset those, it looks like I need a full distance of 1.5. So now I actually need to do an offset of 0.75 to start making my plus sign. So I'm going to do offset again, 0.75, and now I'm going to click on the line that I want to offset and do it each direction. And now I'm going to go on the other line horizontally and offset 0.75. Now I can erase my construction lines that I made for myself. And now I'm getting closer to seeing my plus sign that I need for my first aid sign. I'm going to go in and trim, or use the trim button. And I'm going to select all my objects with the crossing window, and I'm going to erase. I can pick on them as I go around, which is kind of slow, or I can do a little faster version with a crossing window and get rid of my objects that I do not want. I want to trim those out. So now as you can see, my shape's starting to look a little bit more like the example I've given you. And the last thing, which is extra credit since it's not on my sheet, is the B hatch, or hatch. So you can go up and select the hatch pattern, solid, and you're just going to pick a spot inside the area you want hatched. The hatch is a little tricky, so we're going to work on hatch scaling and some other things on our next assignment. And you can see if I pick a point inside, it'll preview a hatch pattern for me, and if I pick a point that's not enclosed, it won't. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next video.